Okay, we get it. The Matrix. Digital. Program me! This is Neo without you mission that Neo promised at the end of the first Matrix.
I can't say I fully understand your reasons for volunteering.
Well, I can say it. The guy that played Tank got all diva, so Morpheus could suggest one of the ships stay behind?
How did you know someone was here?
This dude is somehow unaware of Neo's supernatural powers. Also, showdown number 1 with Agent Smith pushed to later in the film because I guess Smith just wants to play games and be coy, but also probably the script. Look, I get it. You're trying to show that Neo is so f***ing awesome at fighting that he's really only humoring these assholes, and even with upgrades, they still can't beat him. The problem is, that's f***ing boring. And also, I think the Wachowskis are the only people on planet Earth who forgot Neo could And who designed these f***ing things? Dr. Seuss? It's obvious the Wachowskis decided to put a weird rave scene in the first act of both this and the first Matrix movie. What's not obvious is f***ing why. We haven't had sex in ages, we're dying to fuck, but hang on a few minutes while I light all these candles. So here we are at the 30-minute mark, dancing. PG-13 sex in an R-rated movie. Hardly any ass kicked at this point, and we're at the exact same spot plot-wise as we were 20 minutes ago. That if Neo answered the call intended for Trinity, he could be inside Trinity? That sounds really dirty, but seriously, once Agent Smith takes this dude's body, why does a phone call transportation system still allow him to transport? I figure you have to contain the same DNA of the guy you're transporting into, or else the Matrix wouldn't allow it, right?
I just haven't been able to sleep much.
We interrupt this Matrix sequel to bring you boring.
Old men like me don't bother with making points.
This movie is definitely going to make up for its violation of the ass-kicking protocol later on, but the question is, will I still be awake by the time it gets there?
Neo is from the Oracle.
Wait, that's not the important message from the envelope that can't possibly have come through the phone line from a computer program into the physical world, is it?
You know I don't believe in this stuff.
But I do. It's always brought me luck.
You maintain a belief system that is based on luck? You know, it took me a while to figure out this was Agent Smith inside this dude's body. I mean, we saw him twice, but both times he wore sunglasses or was in shadows. So, at this point, he just seems like random dude who hates Neo, or Discount Cypher from the first movie. Yeah! Stupid kid ex machina.
Bane.
Seriously, this dude's name is Bane? Did his parents know that one day he would be possessed by Agent Smith and become a bad guy? Batman much?
Good luck.
So he could easily stab Neo right now, right? Neo isn't in the Matrix, doesn't have access to his badass powers, and there are a million Agent Smiths in the Matrix, so even if he fails and dies, who cares? You were going to take a chance and stab him in the back, so why not now? Also, why a knife? This dude has access to guns, right?
Or am I still in charge of our
Oh look, more talking! I like Kung Fu as much as the next guy, but is it always supposed to be this boring?
I had to be sure
Of what?
that you are the one.
That dumbass fight we just saw proves Neo is the one. Also, Seraph plays the stop short game so that Neo has to ask him what the hell he meant by I had to be sure.
You do not truly know someone until you find them.
Movie sets up a ridiculously delicious premise, but then never delivers on it by having something unexpectedly badass happen. Like Neo having to fight Morpheus or Trinity or someone he thinks he knows in order to find out they're actually traitors or something. Instead, no, just a saying. F*** you, Angel Dude.
You do not truly know someone until you find them.
Also, I keep telling my potential girlfriends that, but I always end up bloodied at the antique shop.
The ones doing their job, doing what they were meant to do, are invisible.
I think the movie could basically have started here. Sentinels are going to attack Zion. Let's go to the Oracle. Awesome ideas about the Matrix and Rogue programs. Boom! This is the scene that finally sets the movie into motion.
Because you're the one.
That's not what you said last time.
Seems like every time we meet, I got nothing but bad news.
No, you got nothing but riddles and instructions, lady. You have never had anything resembling news. Hey, can I go back with you guys? Can you send me to a place where I can get out of here? No? Okay, I'll fight 100 Agent Smiths then. Oh well. So this fight goes on for 6 minutes. Agent Smith was a formidable adversary in the first movie, but hundreds of Agent Smiths are no match for Neo in this one. Feel free to use the restroom at this point. This fight is a lot of sound and fury signifying nothing. Wait, this is a place where any asshole can walk by and see this? If so, why is this the first person stumbling on this fight? Neo gets punched in the face a zillion times, but his glasses keep on ticking. This reminds me, why doesn't Neo just go ahead and fly the hell out of here? Rubber Neo number 2. Also, this is a classic example of a scene that looked fantastic on the big screen opening weekend, but then can never really be viewed at home again without the experience being soiled by how obvious the CGI becomes. Finally, the 100 Agent Smiths get smart and pile on Neo, instead of doing the one-by-one silliness that all bad guys do in fights like this, but even that proves totally pointless. Neo could crush Superman with his penis if he wanted to. Haha, they can't fly. But why? I mean, he can in the next movie. He's not a human being, he's a computer program, but he still somehow has to earn or learn the ability to fly?
Now there's more than one of them.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
No worries, I'm sure they're just waiting to explain that in the third movie. Right? Right?
Comprehension is not a requisite of cooperation.
This motherfucker sounds just like a machine. Let's get him! Also, harmonica necklace.
Because some things never change, Jason, and some things do.
Why don't any of these citizens turn into an agent when they see Neo and Morpheus? Morpheus is a dick to people who don't want to use the stairs. Why don't any of the citizens eating at the Merovingian's restaurant turn into agents when they see Neo and Morpheus in there?
Action.
Reaction. Cause and effect.
Since when do programs get so damn wordy and preachy? Every character Neo runs into in this movie has a master's degree in philosophy.
Truth is, we are completely.
Cake orgasm.
I am so sick and tired of his bullshit. On and on. Pompous prick.
Man, lots of people in this movie keep saying what the audience is thinking.
A kiss.
I'm gonna help you, but only if you kiss me cliche. What? That's not a cliche? That's just completely stupid? Okay, well, no cliche, but still plenty of sin for this bullshit. Come on. I mean, this is Monica Bellucci, man. Make that shit count. Kissing her like you do Trinity would not be hard. You know I'm serious about this because I'm taking off my sunglasses. This kitchen doesn't have the end fight scene from the Raid 2 happening in it right now.
They do his dirty work.
Why the long introduction when you're just gonna kill them?
How many people keep silver bullets in their gun?
Wait, these guys are werewolves? The Oracle said stuff like that was possible. Now the movie's forcing me to debate whether it's better that we never see the werewolves or just be happy that I got the reference. I'm torn.
You can either run to the restaurant and tell my husband what I have done, or you can stay there and die.
Persephone lets one henchman live to tell the husband because promise to help implies simultaneous promise to harm, apparently. That's racist. Nobody here has any powers that can make this fight interesting either. We interrupt this Matrix sequel to bring you the Force. Also, why doesn't he do that kind of shit more often? Also, why is he even using weapons anymore after realizing he can do shit like that? So this is still going. You know, fights aren't good because they're longer. They're only good when you feel like the hero could be in danger. Okay, so I understand that the keys change the rooms that you go into, but how do you change a room from the outside and not be in that same room yourself? See, here are guys who should be fighting Neo. These dudes have amazing powers and would present a challenge. But they're the only characters in this whole movie who do anything cool. We have the ability to become vapor. How do we ever get into this car? Is the knife part of this twins program? Where it turns to vapor when he turns to vapor? If not, why doesn't he just turn other things into vapor by touching them? That could come in handy. You know what this movie needs? Some good slow motion about now for no reason. Oh, awesome! Yeah, bullet holes appear and disappear all over this scene, but we aren't really into nitpicking little details like that. Are these people somehow oblivious to the f***ing war zone that has been coming up on their ass for 5 minutes? F***ing Oakland, man. Also, empty highway behind Chase is super empty.
Shots fired.
Where the f*** has this radio guy been this whole time? He's just now calling in shots fired? Dude, you are fired. Now that he's out of bullets, now's the time to vaporize over to the other car. Where did all this f***ing traffic behind them come from? Wait, so while the agent does this, what is the twin doing? He has an absolutely huge opening to kill Morpheus and Trinity and make off with the keymaker. This van is honking, I guess, for the incredible scene of watching a guy turn into vapor and land in the middle of the freeway unharmed. I mean, are the people who live inside the Matrix muggles or something? They don't see magic right in front of them? This computer program cop has terrible aim. Conveniently timed truck with convenient motorcycles is convenient. These two make this jump, but only through the power of editing. How the hell aren't agents coming from all over, leaping into all these f***ing drivers and smashing the hell out of her and the keymaker? I guess this is the only person on the entire freeway who noticed the motorcycle. What? How did these cops know to drive down the exit ramp? And how could they be sure it was a completely empty exit ramp that they could enter the freeway with? Cool shot, but as we've seen, people getting possessed by agents go through all these convulsions before changing. The placement of the sword on the side of the truck jumps several feet between him stabbing it and him needing to stand on it. The next action I take will require the removal of my sunglasses. Oh look, the sword jumped back up to the top of the truck just in time for him to grab it in his hour of need.
Gotcha.
What?
Then you're meant for one more thing, deletion.
Okay, so do it already. Why has the agent not already killed the keymaker 5 times by now?
Neo, if you're out there, I could use some help.
Morpheus says a prayer to Neo, and it's answered. Of course Neo saves the day. No one in this scene enters it at any time other than the exact perfect second. We interrupt this Matrix sequel to bring you a teaser trailer for the next one.
There is a building. Inside this building, there is a level where no elevator can go.
Welcome to the most confusing scene in movie history. Up is down, left is right, and everything is happening all at once, and not at all, while also being discussed and explained in what appears to be the same room where Neo first met Morpheus, which would be a stupid place for them to go, but like I said, there's so much wrong and weird with this entire scene, I'm just gonna roll the dinger for a couple seconds.
Bomb. Did he say bomb?
You know, pound for pound, Roy Jones is the worst actor they could have gotten to say this terrible line.
But like all systems, it has a weakness.
Of course it does. Sure, as Morpheus said, there are no accidents. Just really convoluted ways to get Trinity into the Matrix when Neo doesn't want her in there.
In 5 minutes, I'll tear that whole goddamn building down.
Yeah, we saw the dream at the beginning of the movie. Too bad there's no suspense now. Well, this timing is perfect, actually. Do you mind fighting with us for a little bit? Just for a few moments while our friends fix the power station crisis that we don't even know about so that we don't die when we open the door? Awesome.
Hold it right there, though, lady.
Guard sees badass chick in leather walk into a restricted area and thinks of the words little lady. The Mr. Smiths behind Neo are just f***ing worthless. They let Neo do whatever he needs to do before attacking him again. Also, some of these Mr. Smiths are obviously not Hugo Weaving. Mr. Smith goes to Bowlington.
You know which door. Hurry, Neo.
Man, this dude was riddled with bullets, but thankfully he had exactly enough breath to give Neo the instructions.
You know which door.
Yep, it's so obvious.
I am the architect.
Remember that earlier scene that I said was the most confusing one in movie history? Yeah, about that. See, I hadn't actually watched any further than that point in the movie when I said that.
Here goes some of my answers you will understand, and some of them you will not.
It's a convenient thing to say when the audience decides they have no clue what the f is going on.
You old white prick.
Did he say you old white prick? Cause that's racist. So Link told her the bad guys were headed her way and to get the hell out of there, and she goes and waits for the elevator?
Thus I redesigned it.
You can tell this is a movie from 2003 when George W. Bush gets equated to Hitler.
There are two doors. The door to your right leads to the source and the salvation of Zion. The door to your left leads back to the Matrix, to her, and to the end of your species.
So basically no different from the choice Batman has to make in Batman and Robin. Previously on The Matrix Reloaded.
What was that? It's moving faster than anything I've ever seen.
First off, you know with your whole heart what that is. Second off, it can't be much faster than when Neo came out of the mountains to save Morpheus and the Keymaker from that truck crash at the last minute. This is f***ing awesome. A dozen years before Man of Steel, this movie stole Superman's thunder just a little bit. And by the same studio, too.
Holy shit, he caught it.
I know, amazing. You saw this before, remember? Also, at the speed Neo was flying, wouldn't this basically have been like a 747 crashing into Trinity? We'll explain his hand somehow reaching into her with the use of green digital characters. Also, I don't know whether I'm supposed to think this is amazing or be turned on. Why didn't he just pull the bullet out with the Force? Neo has been powered up from Superman Jesus to God Almighty.
I can't take this.
I really relate to this guy. This guy is the audience, only my amazement is more anger-based than his.
Guess this makes us even.
Yeah, you saved me with a miracle kiss that shouldn't have worked. I reached inside your body and took a bullet out and restarted your heart. But yeah, we're even. Women.
That's impossible.
Someone in a sci-fi movie declares something impossible cliche.
I have dreamed a dream.
We interrupt this second Matrix movie to bring you Les Miserables. Movie has the balls to come up with a fantastic cliffhanger ending after 2 hours of relative boredom.
It's the hammer.
The hammer is my penis. Also, weren't there way more than just 3 of those Sentinels back when they threw the bomb? Aren't the rest of them right behind those first 3 and killing all these fools right about now? Here's a cliffhanger ending for your ass. By the way, I had already sort of forgotten about Mr. Smith-Bane and what he looked like, so seeing him upside down does me no favors. First time I saw this, I was like, who the f*** is that? Evil Neo? Come back in 6 months. We guarantee you'll be less pissed off about this movie then.
It's a bomb. Bomb? Did he say bomb?
Everyone, listen up. At the edge of our hope, at the end of our time, we have chosen not only to believe in ourselves, but in each other. We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
What are you thinking right now?
Yes, Steve, don't come yet.
You feel this? I'll never let go.
All right, guys, listen to the blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
He's after the Dragon Ball. Is it safe? It has begun.